To my 10-year-old self, tonight, I'm going to honor you. I'm going to reconnect with you as a 30-year-old in me needs you. When I was 10, I used to go for long walks in my neighborhood in South Lebanon. Beautiful Mediterranean Sea, beautiful sun shining, birds chirping, and the fresh grass filled my lungs as I freely skipped around. You would think it's the perfect place for any childhood to thrive. Except, something was troubling in my neighborhood. It was empty. Beautiful homes deserted by its owners who went on quest of better lives and better stable environments. I recall this one day as I trespassed into this big mansion to find myself in the middle of its empty living room, looking up at the ceiling where a big hole penetrated this grandiose structure, giving me access to its outside world. As I look up the sky, my imagination drifted into intense inspiration as I wanted to write this story about elite character whose brother was kidnapped by the enemy. She wanted to grow up and become a spy so she can go find her brother. And as she did that, something unexpected happened. She fell in love with a soldier. In the midst of war, crime, hate, and violence, my 10-year-old self found love to be the answer. See, I can't help but think that perhaps love isn't a lesson along life we get. Perhaps it's something we are born with, and somehow we forget. The 30-year-old in me stands in front of you today as I reflect on all the years where I replaced this unconditional love with neglect. When I turned 12, I developed an eating disorder. I became bulimic, as I was fed a lie that told me I wasn't skinny enough, I wasn't beautiful enough, I wasn't good enough. And for the next 15 years of my life, I spent it hugging a toilet, purging away my self-love and self-worth. It was the most painful experience, not just physically, but mentally and psychologically, as I thought I needed to look a certain way to feel worthy. When I turned 15, I started my journey in dating men, and I felt that I needed someone to validate me. But aren't relationships like algebra? One day you're going to look at your ex and wonder, why? Years of failed relationships that left me with lots of judgment, abuse, and heartbreak. And I've had my share of that. But I had to step back and realize that the problem there is that I thought I needed a man to make me feel complete. At 25, I got engaged to a really good man with a great family, and I desperately wanted to belong to their home as I came from a shattered place. But then I realized that while love is grand, divorce is 100 grand. And I needed to step away from something that I knew wasn't right for me. The problem here is that I felt the need of a home where I could belong. So today at 30, I can't help but step back and realize that all the questions I've spent my whole life accumulating about love, my 10-year-old self already had the answers to. I didn't come to this earth to get my worth through the way I looked, or the perfect relationship, or even the perfect home. My worth was born with me. If I go back and they ask me what I want to be when I grow up, I would say, I want to become a little girl. A little girl. See, my childhood may be over, but the little girl in me will remain ageless. Walt Disney famously said that the biggest troubles facing our world today is that the majority of us are growing up. So let's grow down. Grow down and reconnect with your inner child, because that's the place of the purest form of love. And like yours, my inner child, like yours, knows that love is and always will be the answer. Thank you.